Howdy, this is Smerls from Smerls Custom Computers and also the Smerls YouTube channel. I am doing a video review today of my PC gaming rig. Let's just get started with the front panel here. And up top you have two USB 2.0s, a microphone and headphone jack, a reset and power button, and both the hard drive and power LEDs are right there. The front area has a filtered intake for two 120mm fans, and the fans that I used were the Rocketfish Gaming 120mm fans. Now they are not the typical fans that somebody would use. I know Rocketfish is known for such high quality products, but it's what I decided to use, and honestly they work great for my installation. Now the left side panel is pretty much plain. The paint on the entire case except for the front bezel is kind of a flat, it's like a dark black, but it's kind of not really a gloss finish, it's more like a matte finish. There is a 120mm fan mount here. It's not filtered. I really would have liked it to be filtered, but that can always be done with an aftermarket part. Now the rear area here has a 120mm Tri-Cool fan that came with the case. There are 7 PCI expansion slots, a bottom mounted power supply. I have an I/O shield from my BioStar motherboard, 3 plugs for my 6-channel audio, 4 USB 2.0s, an Ethernet gigabit Ethernet. The motherboard does come with an ATI Radeon 3250 or 3200, I can't remember which has a DVI and VGA port. Has 2 PS2 ports, one for keyboard, one for mouse. The right side panel is, well, let's just say plain, and it matches the paint scheme of the rest of the case. Now, there's my power supply, bottom mounted, and I will tell you about that in just a minute. Let's get inside the case here. Adjust my camera here so it's a little bit more in the center. And it comes with 4 thumb screws that holds on each side panel. This case actually came with a lot of extra thumb screws, and I was very happy about that because, well, who doesn't like thumb screws? They're much easier. The right side panel comes off kind of like a door, comes out a little bit, and then you can just pull it off. Now, the inside of the case, as you'll see, is kind of clean. I try to keep it that way. The power supply is actually supposed to be mounted the other way. You're supposed to mount the fan side up. I didn't like that, so I mounted it fan side down. But what the cool part about this case is that this case actually rests on feet, so there is a gap there. And since my bottom fan is basically unimpeded in the front, it still gets a lot of air going across the power supply. So I just decided to leave it that way. My power supply doesn't get hot. It is an option you can take with the Antec 300. Now, like I said, it did come with a lot of thumb screws, and I used thumb screws in everything, everywhere from my motherboard mounting to my PCI slots. Now, this case also does come with a 120mm fan up top. It is also a Tri-Cool. I have the rear fan set to, I believe it's either high or medium, and the Tri-Cool up top set to medium. Now the front fans that I bought from Rocketfish Gaming do not have any sort of, fan speed control, so they're stuck going all the way. The motherboard is a BioStar TA780G M2 Plus. I should have gotten the M2 Plus HP, which has a heat pipe that goes across the north bridge and the rest of the VRMs in that, because the board does tend to get a little warm, especially if you're going to overclock with this thing. And it does have a few good overclocking features. For CPU cooler, I decided to go with an Ultra X-Wind. It's the 120mm version. It's really big, And if I were you, I would double check on getting this because the clearances are pretty bad. As you can see, it goes over my first 2 RAM slots, and I could use my first 2 RAM slots, but I decided to put my RAM over here. I have 2 gigabyte Kingston DDR2 PC6400 RAM. 2 of them, they run at 800 megahertz in dual channel. And as for my hard drives, I have a Seagate 500 gigabyte SATA drive. It's partitioned into 2 drives, 232 gigabytes each. And then I have a 10 gigabyte IDE drive that I still have a lot of my old files that I still use. I probably should upgrade to a SATA drive, and it would probably speed up my computer a lot, but for now I deal with it. Like I said, the CD-ROM is a LG Super Multi DVD-RW. It is also a SATA drive. And as far as cable management goes with this case, it didn't have much cable management at all. On the right-hand side, when you take out the side panel, all there was this little bay area right here, in the same exact spot, that had, cable ties and everything, and that's where you were supposed to put everything. And I didn't like that. So what I did was, in here, I cut a few cable management routing holes, and I probably could use 1 or 2 more, but we'll see with the way this goes here. I'm going to be constantly upgrading this PC. But, I've got my GTX 460 Sparkle, or made by Sparkle. It runs actually pretty well with my setup. I'm going to need a bigger power supply because at one point here I'm going to be trying to get a 560, but we'll see about that. This PC has run great for me. This setup has been great. I do plan on upgrading to a quad-core or a 6-core. In my current business PC, that's what I'm using, as a 6-core processor. I would like to be able to switch them out, but in order to do that, I need the bigger power supply. I tried running this motherboard here with the 6-core processor, which is also 125 watts, plus this video card, and this power supply just refused to turn on the video card. Video card wouldn't pop up at all or anything, and that bothered me a lot. So I'm going to have to get a bigger video card. The fans, with the top one being on medium and the rear one being on high and the front 2 being on high, in this case is very loud. The fans themselves aren't loud, but the amount of air this thing pushes is very loud. As far as, review points, I wish this case itself would have had much better cable management. Like I said, I've already modded it, so I had more cable management options. The side panel, again, could have had some filtering. I would have liked that. But the reason why I picked this case is because of the looks. It looks kind of like the Antec 902, and it's got just about the same airflow. Granted, the 902 has a 100 or 200 millimeter fan up top, but I don't need anything that big at the moment. But this is a review of my computer. I will get some 3D Mark scores and everything up for you as soon as I can. And my processor, I'm running a AMD Athlon 2-core, dual-core right now. So hopefully I'm going to upgrade to a Phenom 4-core or an Athlon 4-core. So that's it for my PC. I will be doing another review on my business PC. And that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a good one. This is Smerals Custom Computers.